Mother's Day. Amen.
Amen.
Giving honor to God, who is the head of my life, and to the shepherd of this church, Pastor Theresa Thomas, and to you, the women's ministry. Thank you. I'm not going to take long. I just want to say something very short and brief, something that we're all familiar with. And just a thought that if you have a vision, you can vision this with me. You can see exactly what we're trying to say this morning. But first of all, we want to look at, I'm going to read this to you. Hebrews, the 10th chapter. And I'm going to read from the 22nd to the 25th verse. Very thought-provoking verse in Hebrews. And it says this: Therefore, let us approach the holiest place with a sincere heart, in the full assurance that comes from trusting, with our hearts sprinkled clean from a bad conscience, and our bodies washed with pure water. Let us continue holding fast to the hope we acknowledge, without wavering, for the one who made the promise is trustworthy. And let us keep paying attention to one another, in order to spur each other on to love and good deeds, not neglecting our own congregational meetings, as some have made a practice of doing, but rather encouraging each other. And let us do all the more as you see the day approaching. Amen?
Amen.
And from that, this is what the Lord shared with me. The sandbox. If you can picture the children in the sandbox playing with one another. Little toddlers, 2, 3, 4, probably 5 years old, depends. But this, we're talking about a coming together of different personalities, different attitudes, different behaviors, just different lining up with how we can respect each other and respect what the other person is doing in the sandbox. So what's going on in your sandbox? Well, first of all, in the sandbox you have toys. You're going to have little shovels, you have small pails, and you have small dump trucks, and whatever it takes to make that little one happy. But most importantly, in the sandbox, you're going to have the children. The children and the toys in the sandbox, playing together, coming together, sharing, if they want to share. But how many times do we notice oftentimes they don't want to share? And if you think about it, when you send your kids to the nursery or to play school or whatever, you send your child playing with one another because he has good playing habits at home. He's a good personality. He's able to interact. And when your child goes and get in the sandbox, he expects the same thing. But guess what? It doesn't happen. Somebody wants to dominate the sandbox. Somebody wants to take all of the toys. Somebody wants to push somebody out of the sandbox. It's a mess in the sandbox, y'all. I'm trying to tell you. And when your child comes home, he's saying, no, I don't want to. And looking at you like, who are you talking to? You thinking, who is this child? Where did he come from? My baby don't act like that. But guess what? He's been in the sandbox. And he's been among other children who does not know how to share, who does not know how to love, and who does not know how to interact with one another. As a matter of fact, you got a bully in the sandbox. Same personalities at 1, 2, and 3 years old are the same personalities that we deal with now at 15, 16, and 17 years old. And we wonder what happened to my child. He wasn't always like that. But this is what's happening, and this is where we are today. God looks at us the same way. When we say, yes, Lord, and we give our life to Him, and we confess that He is Lord of our life, He nurtures us. He loves us. Every need that we have, He's able to supply it, and He does it. He does it without wavering. He does it without wondering where you are, what you're doing, simply because you accepted His Son, Jesus. He doesn't hold back. The only thing He says is, ask and I shall give it to you. When you pray, know they believe and you shall receive. Only thing we have to do is just stand on the promises. If we want to learn the promises, do we know the promises? Because he is available and he is waiting. He's not in the sandbox. He is omnipotent. He's everywhere. There's nothing that he cannot do. But do we want him to do it for us? Amen? It's the same way when we come into the house of the Lord. In Hebrews, we say we are to nurture one another, love one another, and comfort one another. But do we do that? Because we've been in a sandbox where we were dominated and we were told what to do and what not to do, and we picked up those bad habits from those who did not want to cooperate. That's a problem. Amen?
Amen.
So what are we going to do about it? We're going to change those things. And we're going to walk in the promises that we made a commitment to him. We said that we would. From the day until we die, we're going to do exactly what he said do. From the day until we die, we're going to love the Lord, and we're going to talk about the Lord, and we're going to go forth into all the nations, and we're going to go to Jerusalem and to Samaria, and we need to stay right here at home and do exactly what the Lord has told us to do. Amen?
Amen.
So, I'm not going to hold you long. In ending, remember now we're out of the sandbox, and we no longer work with shovels and little toys and little play trucks, and we're not like this anymore. Now we're like this. And the Bible is what we have our instructions and our directions on what to do and how to do it, and when to do it. And we do it right. We got the promises of Abraham following us everywhere that we go. Amen?
Amen.
So in ending, remember this. We are to set an atmosphere of honor among God's people that encourages, uplifts, and stimulates all of its members, not just a few, not just some, but everyone who walks between those doors and every other door that they come into. We are to nurture them and set that atmosphere of love for them when they come in. It should already happen. Amen? Amen.
Amen.
And that's right. Okay.